Hey there, this is the One Boom, and this is my 1 week opinion on Modern Warfare 2. The game has been out a little over a week, almost 2 weeks by the time this video comes out, because it'll come out on a Wednesday. But overall, what are my thoughts on Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer? Well, it's conflicting and messy. A lot of YouTubers will do like about 5 to 6 minutes of everything they like about it, and then 10 minutes of what they don't like with a lot more explanation as to justify the negativity or whatever. I'm gonna skip that first part. I just want you to watch this video with the understanding that not only do I love this game, but as a content creator and COD fan, I want it to succeed and do well, and I want to make it a mainstay on this channel. I really like this game. I really like the aesthetic. I really like the weapons. I love the feel. I love the animations. I love loading it up. I love customizing stuff. I like the game, all right? Just bare bones, across the board, I like it. But this is a competitive shooter. So when I log into the game, I might like everything around it, like again, the aesthetic, the feel, the tone, everything, but I might not like how I'm dying. I might not like how maps are flowing. I might not enjoy the current meta or how the matchmaking works. If this was just a game where I customize weapons and look at it, it would be perfect, but unfortunately, it's an online shooter, which means it's almost a paradox where the developers are trying to develop the game to be fun, but unfortunately, fun for somebody means not fun for somebody else. Meaning the game's more like a canvas or an outlet versus just something that's inherently supposed to be fun. That's the whole point of competition. A victory in a game like this requires two people, one person succeeding and one person not. So it's impossible for developers to guarantee fun, but the whole point of community feedback is to, well, make the game more enjoyable across the board so that when you're losing, it doesn't feel like you're losing because of bullshit. So let's talk about bullshit. 1 week into Modern Warfare 2, I will say the hit detection needs some work. This is something that every shooter deals with. I don't care who you are, I don't care where you're from, Battlefield, Halo, COD, I don't care. You know that when a shooter comes out, there's something about the netcode that just doesn't feel right off the bat. Now, heavily fluctuating pings due to weird matchmaking issues is one thing, but just the fact that the hit detection feels off. Like you fire 4 bullets into somebody, you get 1 hit marker, and then the game decided you died 3 bullets ago, so the next 3 just go into the void, and then you just keel over seemingly instantaneously. That sort of disconnected time to kill, time to die, desync bullshit is frustrating, and unfortunately it plagues a lot of launch shooters, or shooters at launch, so I'm not gonna complain about it too much, but the next problem is the spawn system. Now, it had to be pointed out to me that this game does not have a traditional spawn system, so that means I'm not paying attention enough, which means you shouldn't take me as an authority on anything, ever. Just disregard my opinion entirely. I completely just was unaware that this game had different spawns compared to other COD games, but now that it's been pointed out to me, and I've seen it explained in videos, I can't unsee it, and I hate it. The game just spawns you close to your team. Inherently, that's an issue. Like, I don't have to explain to you guys why that's an issue. How do you gain map control if, as you're killing the enemy is spawning near the enemy that's still alive, meaning you can never really gain any ground? Or, if the game isn't spawning you near a teammate, the game will spawn you sort of just randomly somewhere. Like, I've spawned middle map near no teammates, and then just been shot on large maps. So not only is the spawn algorithm flawed in what it's looking for, sometimes it just doesn't work, and just spawns you randomly. I will aimlessly explore maps that aren't that large. Like, none of the maps in this game, in my opinion, are that large or that complex that I should be running around for a minute and a half not seeing an enemy. Or only seeing one enemy in a minute and a half is pretty bad too. Like, it's not something where you can go, okay, my teammates are on side A, I'm gonna go to side B. We're spawning in the east, I'm gonna go to the west. No, doesn't work. You'll have enemies spawning mid-map, so while you're pushing mid-map, enemies are spawning in it around you. Or you'll be in what you consider to be a spawn area, and it'll keep spawning them there like a stuck spawn, and that kind of makes sense, but then it won't happen for the rest of the match, because that was the last predictable spawn you get. Now wander aimlessly. So the spawns are bad, I think we all agree. These maps aren't terrible. I don't hate the layouts of any of them. A couple head glitch spots could be removed, but I don't really mind the map's layout and flow, but the spawns dramatically just take away from that. But now we're gonna ping pong back to a hit detection issue. There is something seriously wrong with the semi-auto weapons in this game. Okay, I feel like I'm going crazy, so maybe I am, but semi-auto shots will just miss sometimes. I don't know how else to explain it. I was showing it to my friend, and I went over and played the game in his living room, and we both came to the conclusion that on certain weapons, primarily semi-autos like battle rifles, marksman rifles, and pistols, that the idle sway is out of sync with the actual sights of the gun. In Call of Duty, the bullet's supposed to come out of the tip of your sight, essentially, so it doesn't make any sense that when I see my sight over a target, even a stationary target in the firing range, sometimes the round will just miss entirely. This just happens a lot. I don't know if it's a hit detection issue, if it's an actual problem with the weapon model, idle sway issue, or optics being misaligned. I have no idea, but just do me a favor, guys. Grab some of the semi-auto weapons and just see for yourself how odd it is, because I have maxed out idle sway prevention on guns and it still will happen, so I'm not sure exactly what's causing it. So that's been a bit of a bummer. Just feels like the game is kind of like severely broken in that regard. I don't know if I'm the only one that's noticing it, but I hope some of you guys can go into the firing range and things like that and test it for yourself, and let me know if I'm crazy in the comment section below. Now the next two things are streaks and maps. Streaks to me in this game aren't exactly amazing, but it's hard to get an opinion on them because a big part of streak usage is map knowledge and map awareness. So once I have more map awareness, once I have more map knowledge, I'll know how to more effectively use and time my streak usage. But currently, I just don't enjoy the streak play in this game, for a couple reasons. When I call in something like an Overwatch Helo or VTOL, it's almost immediately shot down. That's annoying. Going on a 10 kill streak just to call it in and watch it get shot down consistently is very frustrating. And then the other streaks that can't be shot down don't feel quite so precise or quite so effective, and a lot of the maps just feel like they're not made for stuff like SAEs or cruise missiles. And it really feels like the best streaks in the game are UAVs and counter UAVs because they're so cheap and so incredibly effective. Because there's no way to hard counter CUAVs and there's no way to hard counter UAVs until your ghost perk loads in. If you don't want those streaks to affect you, you have to stop what you're doing and shoot them down, whether with bullets or a rocket launcher. Now luckily CUAVs go down pretty easy if you can find them, but I've noticed that sometimes they spawn so high up in the air, they're difficult to hit and even more difficult to spot, and if you're being spawn trapped, well, just put up with it and be scrambled, because the time it takes for you to locate and shoot the CUAV is enough time for somebody to come and kill you sometimes, and it's just frustrating how often I'm shooting down UAVs and CUAVs or being detected by them or being inhibited by them, and so yeah, the low-end streaks are what I end up using the most, like a precision airstrike, a cluster mine, and a UAV, because the higher streaks seem to just get shot down immediately, or they're too high for me to feasibly get because of something we're going to talk about later. But right now, I'm going to talk about maps. I have complained about the maps in this game, I've called them regressive, and I wanted to double down on that opinion. Over a week into this game, I can't get into these maps. They don't play poorly. I don't think they're poorly designed. I like how they each have their own color filter, they have, good clean sight lines. I don't have too many visibility issues on most of the maps in most areas. And hell, some of them sort of make me nostalgic for other Call of Duty maps just based on the lighting and aesthetic, but I don't like them. Like, I don't get excited when they show up. I don't mind them, but I don't like them or prefer them. There isn't a map in this game that I get genuinely excited for, and I think it's just because there's just this lack of interactability, this lack of moving parts, this lack of gimmicks that I don't know, I think they make maps special. I think when maps have a big power position, like think of the tall tower on Rust or the restaurant on Crash, or the main middle building on Estate back in Modern Warfare 2, or the airplane in Terminal in Modern Warfare 2. When a map has like a standout location like that, it's a little bit more fun to fight over, it's a little bit more unique, it really defines that map, and none of the maps in this game, to me, have those standout locations, those power positions, those unique fighting areas. Hell, swimming is only featured on one map, and I'm kinda heartbroken by that because I wanted at least as much swimming as we saw in Black Ops 3. So like, have water on half the maps, not just one of them? At least two of them. It's bizarre. Nothing distinguishes these maps away from other COD games. Like, Call of Duty Vanguard, give it all the shit you want, it launched with more maps and every map took full advantage of the destruction gimmick. I'm not saying that gimmick was specifically good or that it was always just well implemented specifically. I'm saying the idea that your Call of Duty game has a gimmick and then that it's utilized throughout each map should not be so rare to see. We have no night maps, we have only one map with water, no destructible doors, no destructible environments, no moving parts, no slidable garbage cans, no dynamic events, no weather, nothing. It makes the game feel regressive compared to other shooters and compared to previous COD games. When Black Ops 4 has more map interactability than Modern Warfare 2, that's how you know something's the matter. I miss field orders and map-specific streaks and dynamic events, even if they're dumb. I just miss Call of Duty maps having a little bit more character and feeling a little bit more alive, having a definitive gimmick for God's sake. If we could at least blow the doors off of hinges, this game would be slightly more interesting, but they don't have that. I think it's cool that we can hang and climb on walls and shoot people with pistols, but that's really not enough to get me excited for the map design. I'm more excited that I can wall hang than the maps that I can wall hang on, if that makes any sense. But now I'm gonna move into my big issue. The matchmaking in this game is rough. Usually the launch of a Call of Duty is sweaty, I get that, but my God, I am unable to relax and try leveling up a weapon in this game without running uphill. I have to play so cautiously and so carefully that it makes the game feel kind of unfun. When I first turned off crossplay, the matchmaking system didn't know what to do with me, and my lobbies were actually mixed and fun. But now that I've played for a while without crossplay, the game has figured out my skill bracket again, and I will have an entire 3-hour play session of non-stop sweat with very little breaks in between. I get matches that go to the time limit, I get matches where I can't move from my spawn, I get matches where I'm put up against full parties and my team leaves. Playing this game solo is a nightmare, just because the matchmaking system doesn't give a shit. I'm gonna be doing an entire video on the skill-based matchmaking issue I've been having. I'm gonna do an entire video on matchmaking in Call of Duty in general and things I was wrong about in the past. So I'm not gonna harp on that too much here. Also, this video is running a little longer than I'd like. Basically, hit detection, spawn, semi-auto, guns not working, skill-based matchmaking, streaks and maps. They're really my biggest issue with the game right now. Gunplay, movement, trying to win games, using all the lethals and tacticals and new field upgrades, unlocking attachments and camos, I actually like all of that. Max leveling a gun and then being able to tune each attachment on it is kind of addicting, and I'm sitting here recording this wanting to do more of that. But I just wish this game felt a little bit more ready. The last video I did was about the 6 major features missing from Modern Warfare 2, and I still say those features are missing from Modern Warfare 2. And the game suffers for it. They're good features. I'll link the video at the end of this one, should show up on screen right about now. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. There are links in the description to support my channel. Let me know your guys' opinions on Modern Warfare 2 this early in. Give me like 5 or 6 basic opinions, your biggest issues, and I'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye.